My name is Captain Prashanth Rajesh. So when I was in high school, I had some really great mentors that were just a couple years ahead of me, a couple that were decades ahead of me, and they had a lot of leadership and technical and interpersonal skills that I aspired to be able to have as well. And the big commonality between each of these mentors was their experience and background with the United States Army. So for me, that seemed like a great career path and stepping stone to setting myself up for success. I'm currently a 12 Alpha, which is an engineer officer. So engineer officers are trained to be both technical and combat specialists. So I'm trained to oversee vertical and horizontal construction projects as well as combat engineering missions. Yeah, so I've been in the United States Army Reserve for almost 5 years. I started in September of 2020, and I've been proud to call the 304th my home since day one. This is the unit that I initially commissioned into, and I've loved it ever since. I think it's been a wild ride. We've had, of course, just like any Army Reserve unit, we've had our folks come and go, but I've been able to see a lot of folks, including myself, grow so much within the unit. I segment and chapter out every year with our annual training events, and I'm able to really look at how I and my peers and the other soldiers in the unit have grown and changed as leaders and developed for the better year after year at these training events. I do. My very first day, I had told my platoon sergeant, hey, I'm going to be showing up for my first BA, and I didn't go out of my way to introduce myself to anyone. I wanted to kind of play it low key and be like an undercover boss type person to see what the climate is like, what the unit's like. And we did an ACFT on our very first day. And somehow I ended up on the ACFT detail. And that was a really interesting experience for me, seeing organizing an ACFT rather than just contributing to it and being a test taker. Yeah, I have fond memories of my first day with the unit. So the biggest thing that really sets apart the strong leaders from those of us that are still learning is our ability to connect with people. It's that empathy, that interpersonal trust that we're able to develop and build with new people very, very quickly. Working with any new team, it takes time to build that trust, but the stronger a leader is, the more rapid that process ends up being. I think teamwork's incredibly important for me, both within the military as well as within my civilian career. I've only really found success with the teams that I've operated in. The mentality that I was kind of brought up in is our special forces teams, with all of their technical prowess and all their skills, they're not strong because of any one individual. They're really strong because of how each individual on the team works together and how they blend together and complement each other. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's I would struggle to find a time when we're not trying to work together, not actively trying to cross talk between sections, and more often than not, that's the most fun part of what we do. I might have my experience and my background and my area of ownership, but I won't necessarily know how it will impact the intelligence sections or the personnel sections, and really integrating within each other and working with each other that has been a core part of our success as a unit. Yeah, I think based off of my experience with my peers outside of the military, the common perception is that within the military we're brought up like robots, right? We're trained to execute. and we're trained to standard, which of course, yeah, we're trained to the standard, but at the same time, we're all people too. I don't go home and take off the uniform and suddenly transport into a different dimension, right? I go home and I eat dinner. I hang out with my friends, and I've got a whole life kind of beyond this. And there are a lot of unique challenges that we as people face, and more commonly within the military that we face, particularly around mental health. I think my training has, in the moment, it's never felt fun, but the mentality that I think we're pretty commonly exposed to is embrace the suck, right? There's always going to be times where maybe we're hungry, maybe we're sleep deprived, maybe we're tired, but it's not just any one person that's feeling any of that. We're all feeling it together, and we're all experiencing it together. And it really brings every individual in the unit, whether it's at the platoon level or in our case at the brigade level, it brings us together because we're going through the life together throughout training. I think my biggest point of advice would be to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Throughout the military, from basic training through every training event and every real world military event that we'll ever have, it's never going to be comfortable. It's never going to be a fun situation when you describe it to anyone else. But what makes it fun is our mentality going into it. And if we're really comfortable being uncomfortable, we will be capable of a lot more growth as an individual, and more importantly, as a unit, as an army. I think it's a core aspect of being a leader, even outside the military. That is, at the end of the day, your comfort zone is a circle, and anything outside of that, naturally, you're going to feel uncomfortable. But once you step out of your comfort zone is going to grow, and suddenly something that I'm super uncomfortable with today becomes my bread and butter a couple of weeks from now, because I'm so used to it. My biggest point of advice for anyone that wants to become an Army officer is to try to look at the big picture and understand how one domino can have second, third, and fourth order effects that might be far outside the scope of what you can see right in front of you. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are joining an awesome unit, a historic unit, and really a huge part of the Army Reserve's sustainment capabilities. So that's a blessing and a curse. There's a huge expectation for what you're going to be able to do, even if it's not right here, right now. But at the same time, it's an awesome responsibility to really understand that you do have such an incredible impact on hundreds of thousands of soldiers, far beyond those that are immediately around you. So welcome to the 304th, and if this is your first time in the Army, welcome to the Army.